Today we're going to show how you can use Knotend to do project management. We're going to pretend that we're the Instagram team making a dependency graph for the Reels feature. So if you're not familiar with Reels, it's a way for you to post videos with professional music in the background, basically like TikTok. So I like to start thinking about what are kind of the top 2 or 3 milestones or things that we're going to have to do, and then kind of work backwards from there. So clearly we're going to have to do some design, so start some design for iOS. We're also going to need a way to store this music, so we're going to need to design a music server, an API. We're also going to need the actual contracts for the music with the record labels. But before we do any of these things, we're probably going to want to do a feature specification. So I did that with Shift Tab after selecting all of these. Now let's dive into the design a little bit. We're going to need to design the reel editor, the way to actually make a reel, redesign the homepage for the new Reels feature. We're going to have to design the music editor, so you can trim the music, that sort of thing. And then after we do all of these things, we can prototype iOS v1 in code, see how it actually looks. And we'll probably want some test music, so add some test music to iOS, as kind of a fake test, just put it directly in the app, that sort of thing, so we don't have any music yet or an API. But let's go back to the API here. So after we design this music API, we'll put up a design doc for review. When that's done, we can implement the v1 backend. Maybe in parallel, we can implement the database, whatever we pick, and then deploy that v1 of the music service. This still won't have any actual music yet, though. So once we want to actually test this v1 with the iOS version, we'll have to upgrade iOS to consume music API. But I guess to do that first, what we'll probably want to do is, once we've done this design doc, we'll probably want to tell the iOS team what this API is going to be like, so they can start kind of implementing on their end. So between these tasks here, I'm going to add with Shift Option arrow, I'm going to say publish the API spec, and I'm going to drag this over here because the iOS team can now use this API spec to start on their work. And there might be some changes here, but some back and forth. But after we've upgraded this with that new API, we can release the v2 on test flight. We can't actually use it until this music service is deployed, though. So once these two are deployed, now we can test v2 with integrated music service. We'll also need to add some test music. Let's see. That's going to have to go, where's that going to go? In between here. Add test music to music service. So we don't have the production music yet, so we'll just add some of our favorite music, right? Some MP3s. Now, that gets back to the actual contracts. So let's see, before we negotiate these contracts, we'll need to hire a music team. Let's insert in between here and say set a goal of 5 million tracks, something like that. Once we've negotiated them, then we can, get the actual music assets, the audio tracks. So now we're going to want to add these to the real music service, but we don't want to do that yet until, so now we've tested this integration. At this point, we can say, let's productionize the music service, So it's actually ready, right? Some last minute kind of changes, that sort of thing. And now that we've done that, what we can do is, so we'll want to upload this music. to the music server. But that's going to depend on this being production ready. So I'm going to drag this guy over here, which is probably going to change my layout a little bit. But now we have this music that's actually uploaded. So now we can update iOS app on App Store. Maybe before that, we want to set a feature flag for beta users so it doesn't go out to everybody. And now it's on the App Store, so we can turn on the feature flag so people see the Reels feature. Maybe do a press release and internal communications about the feature. And then after that, we can look at the analytics, see who's using the feature. So I did almost all of that just from the keyboard. You can see it's very fast to make this entire graph, and it gives you a good overall sense of the whole flow of making this feature. Go to knotend.com where you can use this for free, or sign up where you can store your graphs to our backend like I'm doing here.